It's Queen Katie time. Plus 17 other stars, of course. But for most of the spectators inside this arena tonight, I'd hazard a guess that this is the rider they're most looking forward to watching. Katie Archibald, the leader in the Endurance League, lining up for her first competition of the evening. She's up there in the light blue leaders jersey, halfway down that list of riders, you can see. And Archibald is about to take on the scratch. There's her compatriot, Nia Evans, already victorious today in another race. A race that has no bearing on the Champions League, but allows the athletes to warm up in the afternoon and brings them ranking points in the world ranking. So a points race that was won by Nia Evans. Archibald was busy trying out new moves, attacking, moving, and even sitting up towards the end, saving energy, because she knows tonight she'll need every ounce of it.
She certainly will. So a real test of endurance, of course, for these riders. Lots of racing, round after round. And, of course, this double-header, you know, adds a different element to it as well. And you need to be thinking, you've got to focus on the race in front of you, but at the same time, your brain is going to be thinking about tomorrow evening. And your legs are going to, you know, if your legs are hurting, you haven't got that rest day tomorrow. You've got another evening of racing. So that's always going to be in the back of riders' minds. So it's going to be a case of who's really thinking about marking out their rivals for the overall, or who's going for the individual results in the night. Much like a stage race, and you know, going for individual stages versus going for the GC. We're at that point in the competition where riders are going to have to be sort of weighing that up and thinking, what are they going to go for?
So a neutral lap to start things off, and providing everybody's present and correct by the time we get back to the start and finish line. The gun will go. 20 laps are on the board, and the race will begin. A reminder that it's simply first across the line that takes the victory. 20 points available in the league, 17 for second, 15 for third, and so on. A reminder that Katie Archibald is well in control, but can't afford to have too many off races because the competition's tight here.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the points. The biggest points difference is between first and second, so 20 for the win and 17 for second. Then you go down in 2-point increments, then you go down in 1-point increments, and the last 3 get 0 points. So only the top 15 score points. So sometimes it can be a case of, you know, if you don't win, but, you know, how many riders are in between you and your biggest rival?
Archibald already at the front, but just driving things along. Every rider will come through and take the turn they feel is necessary. Or peeling off, moving to the back of the bunch, slotting in. And as far as starts go in scratch races, it's fairly pedestrian this so far. It's cagey.
It is cagey. We've talked about this being, you know, a relatively short race, and we're at that real crucial point of the series, and riders have been able to look back and watch how the other races that we've had as part of these series, the 20-lap scratch races, and how they've been won. And you know, it was a really strong late move last week by Sarah Van Dam of Canada, and a 1-2 by the Canadians. And now everybody's thinking, you know, do I want to copy that move myself, or what can I do?
First stopping of the pace then. And Helene Hesters will be at the front there, the young Belgian. Been a family affair for her. Racing with her brother, Jules, who's taken a victory. On her wheel with her right now is Maaike Brandvacht, young rider from Netherlands. And there's a little bit of hesitation as to who wants to do the chasing. Not everybody wanting to commit their full force, their full power. Too much gas in the tank this early in the race.
Yeah, and both of these riders aren't in the top 10 for the overall standings. There'll be riders that are in the bunch at the moment thinking, well, I don't need to chase these two down. But there'll be other riders thinking, you know, I want to win a bike race, you know, forget about the overall. I want to try and win in front of this huge crowd here. And we've got a lot of British riders in this women's endurance field. You know, it's not just Katie Archibald. So there'll be a lot of riders here hoping to sort of try what Bill Perritt tried, you know, go on the attack and try and get the crowd behind them.
Lily Williams is doing the chasing. But again, not wanting to do it all herself. 12 laps to go. We get now a move from Gagiola. Antonietta Gagiola, that is. sister of Dannielle. Antonietta, who was absent from the second round after her sister missed the first round of this championship. And the first move is back together. Williams just moves to the top of the track, and we wait for the next move. We're almost halfway through here. There's triders who are trying to get away almost by stealth here, just drift off the front and see if they can get a gap.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a case of, you know, hoping that you just sort of slide under the radar ever so slightly. Like I was saying earlier, very hard for any British rider because the crowd will be going wild as soon as, you know, anybody in that British kit so much as gets out the saddle. So it's sort of a little bit more difficult to have the element of surprise when you've got a home crowd. Of course, we love the home crowd. You know, please keep doing what you're doing, home crowd, but it is a little bit more tricky.
Just over halfway now, 9 laps to go. As at a guess, is to say this is probably the most cagey of the scratch chases we've seen this season so far. Nobody wanting to give too much, and maybe with tomorrow in mind as well here, Joe.
Yeah, exactly that. I think that there'll be a lot of people with that in the back of their mind, and as much as you try to not focus on tomorrow, you know, you can't help it, it's going to be there. And like I say, you know, the difference in riders thinking about the overall versus thinking about the individual win. And there's not many chances now to try and get an individual win. You know, we're into the final 4 events of this Track Champions League, and there's a lot of riders that haven't had that win yet.
Petra Sevchkova, who found herself with a little gap but didn't push on. Lara Gillespie was there for Ireland in the green, and now we start to get an upping of the pace as we're into the final 2 kilometres. Here we go. Time to make a move, and there's going to be a big cheer. That's because it's coming from one of the many British riders in this field.
Yeah, this is Sophie Lewis, who's made a huge move here. She's a crucial part of that Team GB, but she's gone away slowly. She's got 2 riders chasing her, but she's got a huge gap on the rest of the field now.
And keep your eyes up for Katie Archibald here, because that looks like Lily Williams who's in the chase, who's very, very important in the overall standings at the minute.
Also, Dannielle Khan of Great Britain is there. So 2 of the British riders taking the opportunity in front of this crowd in this break of 3.
And Lily Williams has been the scratch queen overall of this particular Champions League, remember. She started the season winning them. She did it in Mallorca. She repeated the feat a week later in Berlin. And the American is out here again with 750 metres to go. Archibald and company almost resigned to the fact here that the race is going away for them, and they're riding for 4th place.
The race is certainly going away from them, and the crowd realise it as well. You can hear the cheer getting behind them now. We're down into the final 2 laps, and looking at Katie Archibald high up the track, trying to come round, perhaps.
She was poised, wasn't she? A bit of traffic around. 2 laps to go now. And at the front, they're still not wanting to give it all. Now they'll have to do, because the bell rings, and it's the opportunity to really go for it and try and take the victory for Dannielle Khan. There she is. She's gone away. Lewis is off the back, but look at Lily Williams. Lily Williams on the wheel. Khan is going to try and take it, though. It's Khan against Williams. Khan at the front, still at the front, and has it at the front over the line. Dannielle Khan takes the victory. Just about had it on the line ahead of Lily Williams. It's a British win on night 1 of 2 in London. And finally, this season's scratch queen has been dethroned by a home rider in London.
That is a huge result for Dannielle Khan. So Dannielle Khan has got a background of sprinting herself, a previous twice junior world champion in sprint events, transferred to endurance. I'm so over the moon for her to see that she's taken that win here tonight, and the crowd loved that. She took the opportunity. It was Sophie Lewis that initiated the move, but Dannielle Khan went across when Lily Williams went as well, and holding her up for the sprint. Super impressive.